Hello all, welcome to EV Drive India. I'm Girish. I'm here to share you about my 1 year of EV driving experience. Let's start with how I ended up buying an EV. I was looking for a automatic car for my daily commute. I test drove multiple cars and I ended up finalizing on XUV3XO or Nexon DCA. Here, the interesting thing is I was not even looking out for an EV. Tata interestingly announced massive 3 lakh rupees discount on Nexon EV. This cut down the price from 21 lakhs to 18 lakhs, which made it very compelling. So I started to check if the EVs would work for me. I started checking YouTube videos and some blogs. In all these things, there were two major concerns with respect to EVs. The first one was the battery reliability issues. The second one was the charging infra. Coming to battery reliability issues, what I observed was in all the YouTube videos and the blogs, most of the time, the issue was with the first gen Nexon EVs or Tiagos, basically the first generation of Tata vehicles. What I was buying was the third generation. Third generation also had some issues, but then they were very minor. It didn't really matter for my buying decision. It was very minor. So, with respect to battery issues and reliability, I felt confident and I was okay with it. Now, the second one was charging infra. I downloaded an app called PlugShare. I planned the route for all my trips that I would take for next 2 years. One thing that I observed was in major highways, everything was sorted. The charging infra was sorted, uh, and every charging infrastructure had a hotel attached to it, meaning you didn't really have to spend time separately for charging. You could very well charge your car and then go to a hotel, have your food, and then be back, and your car would be charged by then. So, this was good. And in major destinations, the resorts or the stays provided a charging options. It would be a bit costly, but then I think that was okay, uh, because you would be anyways spending less on your commute to the destination, so you can upgrade your stay which has a charger, right? You're not net saving anything, but then it's okay. The experience it gives you is different, right? So with this, I was kind of sorted, and then I felt okay. I will be able to buy an EV, and I will be able to, you know, do my tasks with an EV, and that is how I ended up buying an EV. How have I used my EV in this 1 year? Daily commute is a breeze. Like, if whether you're in bumper to bumper traffic or it's a slow moving traffic, it handles it really, really well. Maybe it's with every other automatic car, but then EVs are special in that. Like, you don't feel stressed, you don't feel rushed or anything. It's calm, it's composed, and it's silent. Um, Now, coming to highway drives, I have done a lot of trips.
Bangalore to Hyderabad.
Bangalore to Davangere to Udupi to Dakshin Kannada, and then I have done Bangalore to Tirupati, Bangalore to Ooty, Bangalore to Hampi. I have done all the trips. In all these trips, charging was never really an issue. The reason being, whether it's EV or ICE, I generally plan my trips ahead. So, in my planning, if I spend, let's say, around 30 minutes extra, then I would be able to figure out the planning route, the charging route, I mean, the charging route and everything, right? So, I felt that 30 minutes of extra planning is what mattered a lot uh, for someone who is willing to buy an EV. So, yeah, with highway trips, there has not been an issue. With guard sections, I don't know, many would say EVs wouldn't, you know, go easy on guards, right? But for me, it was a breeze. I'm no expert driver. I'm a very sedate driver, and then for me also it worked. Like, there isn't really any effort that I had to put to take the car uphill. Downhill is again amazing. The beauty is when you come downhill, you don't spend energy, you actually gain. Like when the car comes down from uphill to downhill, it recharges. In the Ooty Ghat, I got around 5 to 6, I gained around 5 to 6% of my battery back. So I did my Ooty to Bangalore in just one stretch, no charge points, nothing. I charged at Club Mahindra in Ooty, it was 100%. I reached Bangalore with 20%, my home with 20%, right? It was amazing. Now, coming to who should buy an EV. First, you should have your own charging infrastructure, meaning you should be able to set up a charger in your home, which means you should have a parking space. And setting up charger is again uh, not that costly if you go for the portable charger. Most of the homes are equipped with a 3 kilowatt hour meter, and then you would be able to extend your wire, like the three phase wire or the washing machine wires, to your charging points, and then you will be able to plug it in and it will charge. That charging will take around 17 hours. For my car, it takes around 17 hours from 20 to 100%. Right now, most of the car manufacturers, they give you a 7.2 kilowatt AC charger, which is a fast AC charging. It takes around 6 to 7 hours for 20 to 80. Now, it really depends whether you need it or not, because you would be spending extra. If you buy a top end variant, it is going to be free for you. And then where you will be spending is in installing the 8 kilowatt meter, which would, in Bangalore, if you go beyond 5 kilowatts, you would have to go for three phase connection. And then that comes with a cost. So I think I had spent around, overall including the wiring and meter and everything, I had spent around 50K extra to install the 7.2 kilowatt hour charger. So first thing, if you have your own parking space and if you are able to have a charging point in your parking space, then yes, you can definitely do consider buying an EV, right? Now, second, EVs, planning trips in EVs need some patience. And what I mean by that is you would have to spend like at least 10 to 15 minutes extra in planning your route. Now, will it work out for everyone? I'm not sure. It works out for me because I generally plan my trips ahead, so it works out for me well. It is not really it, it doesn't really bother me to plan at all, right? So it's fine for me. Now, what are the problems that I have faced in this 1 year of using an EV? First one, out of all the trips that I told you, there was one trip which I couldn't take. It was Hyderabad to Sri Shailam. Uh, there is one charge point in between, but then you are at mercy of that charge point. Sometimes, if it doesn't work, you're doomed. Like you are in mid, and you would have to call RSAs or you would have to call for help and then get out of there, right? So it is not like no one has done this route. It is easily doable. I am part of the EV community, and many in the EV community have done this route. They have gone from Hyderabad to Sri Shailam, even in Tiagos. But being new to EV at that point in time when I planned this trip, I wasn't really confident enough, so I didn't really take the trip. So that was the only trip which I didn't take because I had an EV. Now, the second, the real problem is, as you see in most of the YouTube videos, it's not really the charging infrastructure or it's not really the battery reliability issues. The main issue I see with EV is you would have to use a dozen of apps, like more than a dozen. I think I have around 20 to 25 apps. You would have to have plug share or EV joints to plan your trip, and then you would have to have CPO apps. CPO is nothing but a charge point operators. So basically charging stations. Each charging station have their own app. Now, because of this, what ends up happening is every charging app, most of them would want you to have a minimum amount kept in your wallet. Uh, Apart from it, if you have 20 to 25 apps, right, it is like navigating between those apps, and then for each charging station you would have to go plug it in, use the app. It is kind of bothersome. So at least in my trips, when I go to a charging point, it takes me minimum of 5 minutes and maximum of 20 minutes depending on the app and depending on the charging station to initiate the charging. Now, this is really a concern. Like if you are not someone who would like to extend your trips by an hour or two, then definitely it's not for you, because there will be uncertainties. And at this point there is no one single charging app, or there is no one single payment gateway through which you can make payments, right? So I think I'll discuss more about the charging apps, and there are one or two good charging apps who do really well in this space. I think I'll speak about those things in my next video, right? So yeah, this has been my EV experience. I have driven around 12K kilometers, and cost wise, I think I haven't even spent 15,000 in uh, charging the car. Like if you see many YouTube videos would claim for EVs you are going to pay upfront, right? In my case, that was not really true. Why being when I bought my car for around 18 lakh 15,000, and my preferred ICE car was a Nexon DCA or top end. So that was this. I bought DV top end, so I'm comparing top end of Nexon DCA. So the top end would be around 15 lakh. Sorry, not 15. It would be with taxes and all those things. It would be around 18 lakh 20,000. So net, I got my EV cheaper than the ICE that I would have bought, right? For me, it has been beneficial from day one. So for 12,000 kilometers, even if I consider like approximately 8 rupees per kilometer, it would have been 1 lakh 44,000 for my ICE car if I had bought one. Whereas in my EV, I have spent less than 15K, which is around 1 lakh 20,000 saving. When you think of this, I think that is where you would feel EVs are kind of worth the money. Uh, yeah, thank you.